No, when you come back, where are you going to sit?
Was
Want
it
me
the
to move?
borough?
I'll sit right here in this chair.
No, it wasn't West End, I think. If it was, I didn't think it was. I saw that article.
Hi.
Good Robin.
So this is Stetna, the big one.
Don't. You need. Hold on. You need this one.
Probably scared the rescue.
Yeah.
I would got freaked out.
You got stuff there with
They
you.
would freak out.
You got people from everywhere. This is. Okay, Jim. This is gonna be. You push. Try not to push that.
My chair locks.
Yeah, really.
Then
He
this.
saw your bottle. Yep. I've been really layering this year. I haven't been cold enough.
I haven't been warm yet.
Well, I wear layers of clothes. I got long underwear on, I've got long socks on, I've got 3 shirts on. I got the hat on my head. The hat on your head really makes a good.
Yeah, but in the house?
Yeah, if I'm cold in the house, yeah, because we have a wood stove. So in the morning, let me tell you, it's really cold. Sometimes I wear my hooded coat and hooded sweatshirt with that on.
I do too.
So then I have my cup of coffee and then build up the fire and then go upstairs with the chimneys a little bit more and, hang out out there.
Tell my friend Joel about harassing your husband for the...
Oh, well, Tom's property is a little close to the camp, 109 by 40 feet.
Everything is being recorded, so you know. Okay.
Just the downstairs, it's, no basement, and upstairs it's just like an attic. We've got, he put hatchback windows in the roof line, so we have like skylight. And they don't like that he's having the carpet front. It should be all wood black. 35 years, because he would have every course of his
Record this guy.
Hi there, Mr. Jack. How are you doing?
Hi there.
How
you doing?
I hate hearing them damn voices. Oh, you want to sit back here with us? Here, I can do this.
Oh, so I was going to sit right beside you, see?
That's fine. This is my friend George Miller. George is my good friend.
Yeah. How you doing, George?
Hey, Melina,
Uh-huh.
how do I make these legs stationary, these telescopic legs? They keep sliding. They're not locked in, this one.
garbage bags.
Oh, you twist them, okay.
People in the borough are setting out.
Let me see, are they all stationary? They are. Okay. It's a little bit weak, not the best tripod. Try to do best you can. So, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I can turn it
This is
on.
what I want.
Yeah, then you can move it around. Let me turn it on.
You ready?
Yeah.
Because we got a couple minutes yet. We got 10 minutes yet, Melina.
They filed this piece of paper, and the paper was very ambiguous. It didn't say whether each bag was $600 fine, whether we had a certain amount of time to get it up, 48 hours, or up to a month. And then they said,
Why is it their decision to do this?
because this is how the borough works. The borough has this building inspection unit. So they only have to CSL. They just come in and they just go around site.
On what basis do they pick a roof, though?
I don't know. This guy supposedly.
Jim, you have extra pen?
Yeah.
But he just puts the
He's gonna use it. Thank you.
The flashing is bad, something is wrong. And so what we did is we put rolled roof on, but in the process we had 4 of these these hatchbacks.
Did you mention that, George?
It breaks two of the windows. So now we have tarps. So meanwhile, when he goes to court, he doesn't even ask for them to give him a property card. It's just something.
Is there another page?
And they decide, you know, 5 months later, but nonetheless, the thing about the other one is clear. Todd is very, very astute. Okay, so he starts to him, that my siding has mold on it. This is going to be a cleanup on the cedar side of the hill. It's blackened because of mold. Meanwhile, we do have a trailer next door to us that is owned by some grand person who rented it out. Mold extraordinary to the point that people were living there.
Hi, Danny.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you? Good.
That's good.
Good, good.
It's good. Keeping warm or what?
Trying to. Trying to the best we can.
But anyway, in court, he defends himself and shows that the guy doesn't realize that our roof is real good. He thinks it's healthy. And he also thinks that it's
Oh, you know who's walking in?
now we took out where there's more.
Is that necessary?
What?
I'm asking Joe. Did you hear what I said? I just asked if that was necessary.
Oh,
Right?
right.
There's no need for that.
Border, right? Harold?
Yeah, that's a newspaper reporter right there. If you guys want to talk to him. Hi, Marion. How are you?
Make it all right. Did you hear her? I'm surprised.
Probably starting with kinds of vegetables that are still growing today that I thought were going to work. I haven't heard these terms about it.
They call them weeds, probably.
Oh, yeah. So these are
His neighbor ran into the same exact thing.
so meanwhile, they don't want to get these are different. Gardeners.
Why do they have a roof?
They just don't take them. Maybe he lived there before she was very young. They were going to ask us if she had a house by himself. She was down there. Okay, he's coming in. He's going to
Continue to say.
one room downstairs. She needs some more.
Hi, Katie. How are you? Hello, Jack. How you doing?
Switching names. Switching names. You want to start tonight? Still cleaning.
I was told that no one would come here.
Who told you that?
Secretary.
Dad. Good, how are you?
Oh, law of justice.
That's the Constitution right there.
Oh, okay.
Very important document.
Pardon? Good to go. Thanks, Ken.
Okay.
Almost 40, Madam Chairperson. I'm sure who's recording. Recording, Mr. Barr, you recording this evening?
Yes,
And is that your device? Whose device is at the door?
I have 2 today.
You have 2 this evening? Make sure you mark that down when you check in, okay?
Okay.
And let's make sure that you run it, nobody else, okay? Miss George, are you here today? Phyllis George? Okay, you recording? Angeline Miller? Oh, Inga Miller. I'm sorry.
Ingeborg Miller.
Okay, I couldn't read your first name. Okay. And we have Thomas Jefferson again tonight. Okay. All right, I think we're ready to go.
With the time being right, the Borough Blawnox Council meeting January 27th is going to begin. Let's stand to the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sherry, roll call.
Scott Kraus.
Here.
Kenny Chvala.
Here.
Kate Tobin. Charlie Freeman. Tony Gross.
Here.
Randy Stoddard. He's working. And Teddy Lasky.
Here.
You have a forum, Madam Chairperson.
All right, now is the time for public comment on agenda items. This will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The items for comment tonight are opening and consideration of bids and quotations. We have salt shed bids. We have the approval of the previous meetings. We have the approval of our bills. We have no ordinances or resolutions this evening. We have under new business a periodic estimate from Red Rock Fencing for the ballpark fence project, from Robinson Pike for sanitary sewer and manhole project, and from Robinson Pike for sanitary sewer again, estimate number 5. We have consideration of change orders number 2 and 7 for the sanitary 5 and manhole 2 project contingent on county approval or available local funding. We'll start in first row. Does anybody have any comment on any of the agenda items that we have this evening?
Okay. Yeah. Ingeborg Miller, Elisa Kamendeville, 303 per quote. About the bills.
Number 7, approval of bills.
Yes.
What is your comment?
I see several names I don't recognize on the signature card signing checks. Barb Carr, Holly Morse, Susan Stoddard. Karen Fay, Ruth Shaw,
Those aren't agenda items. If you have a question,
paying bills.
if you have a question on the bills for this month,
Okay.
we'll comment. If you have a question on other ones, you can do that
Oh,
at the end of the
All
meeting.
right, but paying bills, the question is, does anybody who signs checks, borough checks,
Why don't you do that at the end of the meeting on other
there
comments?
too,
On other comments,
this is besides this one I just started, okay?
I understand.
All of, okay.
Okay,
That's
you
all
can
right.
ask that then. Anybody else in the first row on this side who has any comment on agenda items? Okay. Anybody in the second row have comment on agenda items? Peggy,
Was, is there a, was it, last time where?
hand up, name and address.
Peggy Albright,
Address.
141st Street. Come on. Anyway, is this, I'm not sure if this is agenda question, so I don't want to pass up my chance. Is the resolutions about the zoning on riverfront property, was that at the agenda meeting?
You can make that comment at the end, Peggy, if you want to make a
Well,
comment.
that was at the agenda, and that was current, and Jens voted on that.
No, there was no resolution at the agenda meeting.
You changed zoning, it's in the paper.
First of all, we don't do anything at the agenda meeting, so we can't change zoning.
That's what I mean, did you bring it up the?
No, it would only be, if it was brought up and placed on the agenda, it would be on the agenda tonight, and there's no agenda item.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Anybody in the second row in the back here?
Yeah, 221 H Street,
Name, please.
Melina. I just was wondering why, one single question, why all those items that you have here are not matching with what they discuss in the agenda. We had only 5 to 6 minutes of the meeting and on the last agenda meeting, and then we left because it was called for executive session by the lady chairwoman. And then, I don't know what was the final result, but I just want to make sure that this, what you have here listed, is matching what was discussed, so that people can be ready for public comment. And if you can provide us this list by noon, so that people can really prepare to ask the questions.
Those
Thank
comments-
you.
those comments
It's
should be
related
limited-
with everything
Yeah,
here.
they should be limited to at the end of the meeting, because they're not specific items on this agenda, but we'll take that into consideration.
Thank
Okay,
you.
if there's no other comment, why don't we go to opening and consideration of it?
Okay. Gordon, would you like to discuss the salt shed, please?
Well, the last meeting, bids were tabled. At that point, I think council is going to consider what to do at that point, and a number of options, I believe, were considered, but I don't think any definite was decided upon, unless at this point,
I believe that the cost of the salt sheds, I believe the bids were quite high at that point,
I think
you know, and,
The lowest bid, Madam President, was $136,836. The square footage involved, and I said this at the last meeting, square footage involved there in the shed itself, and it's a salt shed with no electric. Well, it might be a light or so in the ceiling. I should maybe stand saying wrong on that, but no water, no heat, no anything. And it comes to $156.38 a square foot. That's the least
Is it
least bid.
Is it council's intent to reject the bid? And we would need a
That's
motion.
where it was left.
Yeah, we would need a motion then to reject the bids for the construction of the borough's salt shed.
so at this time, I need a motion to reject bids.
Motion.
Second? I'll second. Call for question? Roll call. Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie? Yes. Bev?
Yes.
Tony?
Yep.
Debbie? Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Okay, and then at this point, then we'll be looking at other options for that. Okay, the next agenda item are the approval of the minutes. We're looking at the regular meeting of November 18th, 2010. the regular meeting of December the 16th, 2010, and then the agenda meeting of January 10th, 2011. So at this time, I need a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
call for question. Roll call.
Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay. Next agenda item is the reading of the bills totals. On the general fund, the total is $62,296.13. And in the water fund, $23,057.80. At this time, I need a motion to approve the bills.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
call for question. Roll call.
Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay. As we're going down the agenda, ordinances and resolutions, we do not have any for this evening. And now we come to old business, and we have Bill Cook from J.C. Pierce here. He's going to do a report from the construction on the firehouse.
Thank you very much for having me here tonight. Basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a status report, a status update on the construction project for the new fire company building. As you know, the council approved award of the contracts to the 4 contractors who were the low bid. We had a pre-contract meeting to discuss the standard AIA contract that was to be issued, that was part of the specifications, to give the contractors an opportunity to ask any questions. We had a contract signing last week with the contractors. So the contracts have been executed. I'm sorry, that was the week before last. That was on January 12th. We also had a pre-construction meeting last week with the contractors to discuss predominantly housekeeping items. We wanted to review standard procedures and a lot of the construction forms that we'll be using throughout the project. We wanted to talk about work hours when the contractors would be working on site, as well as things like access to the site. And review of the requirements of the specifications as it pertains to those types of items. We did set up for construction meetings for every 2 weeks, and once things get proceeding, once the contractors come out and break ground and actually get rolling on the project, we will move that up to construction meetings of once a week. At the moment, the contractors are doing a lot of preliminary paperwork in preparation of actually starting the construction of the project.
Thank you. Okay, we're down to new business. Gordon, would you
Can I make
like?
a comment on that?
Oh, sure.
Do we have a guesstimate, or are they pretty well set that they will just about wait till spring before they start the project, you think?
One of the things that sorry about that. One of the things that we did do was in recognition of the fact that we're still in a quandary about the salt shed. I did discuss with the contractors about adjusting their contract time to allow for them to actually start construction around March 15th.
They've
Give or
agreed
take.
to that?
They have agreed at no cost to the borough to make that. And what we have actually done is we set the start date of the contract at January 12th, so that the contractors would be allowed to process a lot of their paperwork, get a lot of their materials and things ordered so that it wouldn't inhibit their ability to get these items without an escalation of cost. And what we've done is we've actually pushed the completion time back to November 1st to allow some extra time for the relocation of the salt shed.
there on their side.
Just so council's aware, we had the vibration consultant come in yesterday, so they sent out the construction company, that's the general contractor, they sent out the vibration consulting letters to the surrounding homes, as well as the borough. So he came yesterday afternoon, I spent the afternoon with him going through the borough building, from top to bottom, to identify anything that might be disrupted when they do those deep pilings and vibrate the earth. So that part I know is definitely started because we've received the letter and had the survey done.
Oh, yes, the contractors are wasting no time. They're trying to get as much of the front-end work for their contract done and complete so that they can proceed when March 15th hits. They can just hit the ground running.
That's great.
Gordon, would you like to discuss item 10?
Yes, for council's consideration of a motion, Red Rock Fencing has substantially completed the fencing project. He says he has completed it, but the official inspection for any punch list items will be tomorrow. And actually, I believe either Joe or Mike Galati is going to attend, and we're inviting Denny too, if he's capable of going. At 9 o'clock. Red Rock has submitted the balance of the contract in the amount of $14,677.80, of which we feel if we hold 10% retainage, which would be an amount of $4,906.90, which would be more than adequate for any punch list item down there based on our cursory inspection, since he said he's completed everything, but of course we have to have the final walkthrough with him, unless it's scheduled tomorrow. But we feel that the close to 5,000 retainage would handle anything that we might find in error or incomplete. So really at this time, it's a motion to approve the contractor's request minus the retainage, so that would be for the $13,210.02.
Can I make a comment there, Gordon? It's gonna be a little rough there, because I went in that area today, and let me tell you, that's all full of ice. So that's gonna be rough getting up and down, plus even getting near the place. Because when you come down the Amatec walk, it's solid, but as soon as you get off that, that's all full of ice. Because I was there today.
The contract does not end until the end of February. I mean, we could wait for
I think that would be a wiser choice to wait, so we can actually get there to see what should be done.
Okay.
I mean, that's my opinion. I think.
Wait for a snow melt, and I'm
Right.
sure we'll get one. Maybe.
Yes. Because we want to get there first, you know.
So if we all agree then, here at the table, that we're gonna hold off on that estimate for Red Rock for fencing until next month? No agreement?
Well, you can either approve this, as I indicated, we've had several inspections since he's had a few minor things to complete.
Okay.
He has substantially completed it. We feel that his request is in line, well, his request would be in line if we held the 10% retainage, approximately $5,000. He doesn't have $5,000 worth of work to do
Right.
there.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. I would feel confident.
Okay, so then we're making a motion then to.
And we'll just wait on the final inspection.
Right.
Okay. At this time, I need a motion to pay Red Rock Fencing $13,210.02 once the punch list has gone through and the inspection.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I need a second?
I'll second.
Call for question. Roll call?
Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie? Yes. Bev?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay. Gordon, how about the Robinson Pipe?
The next two bullet items are from Robinson Pike for the sanitary sewer phase 5 and manhole rehabilitation phase 3. The first one for $17,018.10, and estimate number 3 for $70,600.10. $70.67. Again, the project is substantially completed. Along with retainage, we feel that it would be acceptable to approve this amount. And then we can get into the last bullet item after this.
Okay. Okay, the first one we're going to do is make a motion for the $17,018.10, and this is for periodic estimate number 2 for the Robinson pipe. And this is going to be for the sanitary sewer 5 and the manhole 3. I need a motion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Call for question. Roll call.
Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Tony?
Yeah.
Debbie?
Yes.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, again, we have another periodic estimate number 3, again from Robinson Pipe for the sanitary sewer 5 and the manhole 3, and this amount is going to be for $70,070.67. And at this time, I need a motion that we pay them. Any motions?
Motion.
How about a second?
Second.
Call for question. Roll call?
Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
All in favor? Motion carries.
And going to the final one.
Okay, the final bullet, again, is regarding the Robinson Pipe contract. As you recall, last month, I discussed with you the retelevising of 5 sewer segments at the lower portion of the borough. The information just wasn't adding up from the first contract or what we were running into during the rehabilitation phase. We'd estimated, I think you approved up to $7,000, I believe, of televising costs. The contractor completed it for $4,250, I believe. Could have been $4,500. $4,200. Did find some defects, clarified unanswered questions that we had, in fact discovered an additional manhole that we didn't know you had. Based on that televising, we prepared a change order for your consideration. We talked about this last month, that all in all, these are the last phases of rehabilitating your sewer system. And these change orders will complete the entire picture. And at that time, I told you that you had budgeted through this 60-40 process, 60% being paid by CDBG, that you had budgeted a ceiling amount, and we were well under that, and that perhaps if you wanted to go through this process, televise, see what else would have to be done. In fact, there were a couple other items added into this from previous phases that were not completed. I think a little bit of manhole rehabilitation. And I can read off what those that additional work is. I believe it's in the.
It's in your engineering packet.
Yeah.
I think the last pages.
That's what I just looked at, the last. I can't find it. But in any event, oh, okay. Yeah, it indicates each of the change orders, what would be done in order to complete that process. And I believe that the total amount, I'm gonna have to go back to the notes I'm familiar with. Is a total of $50,088. Again, that's a 60-40 split. One caveat, we did discuss this with Tom Benecki. He suggested we send it down to the county to see if they would approve these change orders. So really at this time, we're not asking you for a final vote, just a vote that would say contingent upon county approval and or local funding decisions, to let the contractor go ahead and perform this last bit of work.
Are you saying that because the contracts have come in, the phases have come in at less than expected, that there's still enough for the 60% county participation and 40% borough participation to cover this 50,000 and some change?
I believe you're still under, and Sherry, we did discuss this with you, you're still under what you had committed to funding, personally.
Okay.
You're 40%.
The borough.
Right.
Okay. Now we have to, the money is there that the county has granted us for this project, but because it's a change order, we have to get permission from the county to use that money for the change order.
Correct.
That's okay. So nobody's gonna get hurt if this thing goes. We've got the cash, they've got,
Right.
and they're gonna come up with their 60.
They're 60%.
If they approve it.
We also requested from them the $4,250 in televising. We also requested that be put into the 60-40 split. We don't know if we'll get that, but we'll do that also. But again, it would, your motion to approve these changes would only be based on county approval.
So you're asking for a motion tonight to approve this based on county
County
approval?
Contingency county approval. I need a motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Call for question. Roll call.
Scott?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Tony?
Yeah.
Debbie?
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
But how long did that take for to see if I can, to find out where we stand with that?
We were hoping by tomorrow, by the end of the week. We sent the letter in, I believe, a few days ago. Normally it doesn't take that long, but we'll see. I think the letter was in the packet also. It was, actually it was last week. It was dated January 18th, Thomas Konecki, and then he sought the approval.
Okay, now is the time for other public comments, on the items other than on the agenda, but they must be relative to the Borough of Blawnox. So we'll start the same way. Anybody in the first row wishing to make a comment on any general item involving the Borough of Blawnox?
Laura Ride, 282 Bridgewood Road. I just wondered if the council plans to allow now speech at agenda meetings, since the case that was taken against Peggy Albright is now resolved in her favor.
Well,
Can you tell me what
as
action is
you
being
know,
taken?
that was a criminal case, had nothing to do with the Sunshine Act of the borough. We will not discuss that. That case is in litigation.
I thought it was completed.
The case of Ms. Albright's criminal offense has been completed. The ACLU's case concerning the Sunshine Act is currently in litigation, so we will not make a
So we
comment.
have to wait until the end of that
That's correct.
before you
That's correct.
capture ordinances or
That's correct.
resolutions.
Ms. Miller?
Ingeborg Miller, English recommended was 3.0300. Like I mentioned, I see lots of names on the signature card signing checks. They are outside people. Who decided to put an outsider to sign borough checks? Susan Stoddard, for example. Karen Fye.
They are
Who's
bank,
sure?
they are bank officials. The practice of the borough is to have 3 borough officials. If there is not a third borough official available, those individuals are bank employees. They're authorized to sign the check.
Who is responsible if something goes wrong?
We are responsible.
For the bank person.
We're responsible.
Are you insured for that?
We're responsible.
That's not my question. My
You asked
question
who is
is,
responsible. I said we are
are you
responsible.
insured? Do you
The
have
borough is
insurance for
insured.
that?
The borough is insured.
Okay, why do you need an outside person if you have so many?
I explained to
Counsel.
you, we have 3 authorized borough officials. If one of those
There are more than
officials are
3.
not there, we have authorized the bank employees so there's no delay on payment of checks. Do you have any other comments?
Yes, did any council member or any person who signs bill checks ever look at bills
They look at bills every month.
before they sign the check? Every person who signs checks.
Checks are not signed until they're approved at the council meeting, just as they did tonight. So
You
they
look at
review
any
every-
check, fine. Now, the other thing is, the problem is the double paid bill from RDM is not solved. First, I was told the check was voided. Then it was not voided. Then, after 14 months, I was told the check from May 30th, 2008 was for May 2007, 14 months later. This is very odd. Secondly, here's a list, check number, just a second. Here. 7826. Here's a list. 7826. All of a sudden, that check was for April 2008. You can't have it three ways. Voided 2007, and then all of a sudden the check is for April 2008. Don't look at the clock, you
You have
interrupted
30
me
you have
too.
30 seconds.
Well, you interrupted my 3 minutes. So what's the deal now with the double pay check? Why doesn't your office, Mr. Ledero, and you, Mr. Campbell, pay back the $4,583.33? Why don't you pay it back? It's paid double. It is not, it's double paid. You have three versions.
Okay, your 3
I
minutes
told
are up.
you.
Thank you for your comment.
You will- I'd
And
like
if you
to
wanna
get an
supply-
answer,
If you want to
please.
supply that info to the borough secretary, we'll make sure you get it.
Why
you
should
get
I
it
do
replied.
that? I
Okay.
have
Does
everything
anybody
she
else,
gave
does
me.
anybody else in
okay?
this first row want to make a comment on items other than
You are
agenda items?
excuse for everything.
Yeah, I want to speak.
Mr. Barr? Do I give us your name and address?
Yeah, I'm Jim Bartlett, 200 Frankfurt Avenue, Westview. I'm really concerned that the council is allowing the solicitor to make policy without their approval. Specifically, when I signed in, as per this chart here, it said what type of videoing and audio I was doing. I complied with that. There was nothing on there about equipment or number of pieces of equipment. And I was told by your solicitor right here that I had to write down how many pieces of equipment. I'd like the council to make sure that you direct the solicitor on where he takes directives. So I
Thank you for your comment. Anybody in the second row want to make a comment on items other than what's on the agenda tonight relevant to the borough? Ms. Albright?
Those 3 minutes he wasted. Okay, Peggy Albright, 141st Street. I have two questions. One is, for 3 years, we were getting reimbursed for our school guard, the school guards here. And now we aren't anymore. Can you explain why?
Well, why don't you give us your comments, Peggy, and then we'll try it. Do you have any
Okay.
other comments?
And my other comment is, where is the staging area going to be for the construction of the new fire building? There's nothing that can, since you decided not to buy the property from Moondog, there is nowhere to store this stuff. Nowhere. So how are you going to do that before you make all these plans to build something? You don't even have a place to spring off from.
Any other comments, Peggy?
No, thank you.
Okay. We'll, obviously, we'll be working with the contractors, to determine a safe area for staging of the materials. So the contractors who will do that. Anything else?
Yeah, but shouldn't that be in pre-planning?
That's what they have the construction meetings for. still reimburse for half.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. The school district reimburses the borough for half of the school crossing guards' compensation, and they do that throughout the year. So
They haven't done it, it's not in the budget.
well, you'll see it come in before the end of the year. Anybody on this? Yes, Lionel?
Yeah, I'd like to address Madam Chairwoman, since this gentleman, Mr. Sir Canvas, is not my elected official. So I just want to let you know that I have an international press pass, so you shouldn't be the only borough in the whole United States to forbid me to record. Okay, and the balance of my time, I will probably take a half a minute, so balance of my time, I want to reimburse to the lady that was cut off, Miss Inga. It's always better to have no ideas than false ones, to believe nothing than to believe what is wrong. He who knows best knows how little he knows. Thomas Jefferson quote to our President George Washington. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. You wish to make
Yeah.
a comment?
For 3
You have
years,
a minute and a half.
for 3 years, it's not in the budget anymore. The school got reimbursement.
Maybe on the miscellaneous revenue,
I'll check.
but we'll check that out for you.
And I'd like to get an answer what I said before, please.
We'll look into it, sure. Okay, no further comment, Madam?
Okay, we do need to go into executive session for personnel matters. So at this time, there'll be nothing voted on during that time, it's strictly just personnel matters. So at this time, it's 7:03, we're going into executive session.
Sorry.
Somebody had their hand up and wasn't recognized over here.
You have a comment? No?
My name's Mary Ann Saunders, I live at 222 Walnut Street. I was just wondering about the water pressure. It's not back yet.
I can speak to that.
Okay.
We do have another water break, our third of the week, unfortunately, at Maple and Pine Alley, down here behind the barber shop. The borough crew will be working on it starting at midnight tonight. A good portion from the ski shop to Blaw Avenue, from this side of Freeport down to the mill will be without water pressure, or without water service at all, from midnight to probably 5 o'clock in the morning. So we tried to accommodate the residents, tried to accommodate the bar owners, the businesses, so that you guys would have water tomorrow. So that's why your water pressure is off, that's why some people have had dirty water. Hopefully that's the last of the
Thank you,
breaks.
we need to go into executive session now, so we have to ask everybody to leave.
We'll go further,
No further action.
Madam Chairwoman, are we gonna wait and then come back, or?
You can wait if you want to, but we're gonna, we'll just adjourn.
Thank you.
How can you be insured for bankruptcy? Mr. Campbell, not for bankruptcy, you can't.
Just ignore me.
I hope you're insured.
My son's in that.
Pay that back. I mean, Mr. Campbell and Mr. DeDero, $4,582.33. It's charged double.
Yeah, the solicitor.
Yes, that's.
Did you see that, Mr. Williams? Why do you think I said what I said? Now you know what's going on. Mary,
Yes.
Did you talk to?
I did, and one of the main things is.
So you get down to the club and have a drink? Come on.
We are mediation.
Huh?
Mediation, so it's like, I don't know what I'm thinking, I think it's like within a month or a month.
I don't take it in vaccine.
Get out of the club
I
and
don't
have a
take
drink.
the that immune system to do
Get a
it in
soft
vaccine. I don't want vaccine.
But anyway, but that's what it's.
Well, take care of yourself.
So I'm waiting to do something, they're waiting to do something.
I'm over it.
I'm just checking out.
Thanks for coming to report what's going on tonight.
It's my job.
Thank you.
That case is finished. Why, if the ACLU has nothing to do with that case? The Blawnox way. The Blawnox way. Do you know that? Do you know the difference? The right way, the Blawnox way?
Yeah.
This is the Blawnox way.
Yeah, that's the Blawnox way, yeah, this is it.
Thanks for
You need
coming.
term limits, buddy, that's it. If you had term limits, you wouldn't have this problem.
I don't know who they belong to.
Melina, did you have a purse?
I think, yeah, the 2 bags.
Do you have a purse?
Yeah, 2 bags.
2 bags, they're still sitting in there.
I need them.
So I'm gonna grab them for you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Actually, they actually.
That was a good one.
Did you hear that?
They said thank you for your comment.
You were excluded.
Today we got a little bit,
I know.
some answers, and I think that's because, there was a lawyer present, that's why.
He is insured for bank persons. Do you believe that? Not for a second.
Like I said,
Why do you, I knew the excuse comes up.
You're allowed to look mean. Is there a law against looking mean?
Well, when you're,
People signing checks.
when you're a slimy person like him, you can't help it.
term limits, remember that.
Yeah, turn to who's this
Can we
way?
take it?
They're all in there.
Yeah, I like your hat. You look good in it.
Thank you.
You need term limits.
You don't get it here, you only get it at home.
And that's like really tough to look at when you go that fast.
So are we waiting or what?
Peggy, are you ready?
Busy when we give
I'm
it
gonna
out.
say something to you, Jane.
Did it
Oh,
alone.
I'll be done. And
So we go back in again when they're done.
If we have enough patience to wait. All depends
They're not
on.
gonna do any business, are they?
Hey, you wanna go next door?
Actually,
We're gonna go next door after
once
this.
that has been.
I haven't had a beard over 2 years.
So you're
I know,
allowed
just to
to
have a
meet.
I haven't had
meal,
a beer
Wes is
at
over
all,
there.
and I won't.
It's
I'm
all
not
right.
gonna
Have a dinner or
I
something.
don't drink.
We're allowed.
If you have.
To have a food, they have a good food. But I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Hey, I get
We're
his
still
email.
allowed to
Oh,
speak
good.
though.
Get his emails, all right.
And now, somebody asked a question, are we gonna do last speak? And he said, that was the criminal case. The criminal case was based on
He's not gonna vote on
the
it.
Sunshine Act. They completely twisted that around. Just so you understand, and that court order should have been obeyed. Now, I realize that you guys didn't understand.
They never closed the
We,
meeting.
the police department,
I think they
Well,
would.
no, I had the court order which I showed you. What happened was, I would have had
When did they?
to press that to make
That's right.
it enforceable.
On video. If
I didn't have money to press
they
it,
proved it,
so it wasn't pressed, but in the future,
personnel or
because
something.
ACLU,
They'd never tell us
they
about
may
it
press
anyway.
it. And I'm warning you, that's not for
Did you see in the US Senate, the new Speaker of the House,
Yeah,
was reading the Constitution to the Senate? Did you see what happened? He got to the part where he said, the President of the United States must be a natural born citizen. And someone up in the gallery yelled out, yeah, everybody except Obama. They put that person out. Sergeant Arms, who that person?
Yeah, that, and what happened there?
No, that wasn't the president wasn't there.
No, that was illegal what was done, because if our forefathers would have been on that right away, that's what you're supposed to be doing as a citizen, is making statements and being there for that.
Up in the gallery?
Wherever you were.
You're a guest there, that's all you are, a guest.
You're a citizen of the United States of America, and they are reading your Constitution. And if you
have some issue with that Constitution, you have a certain right, you have, according to Thomas Jefferson, you must stand up
So you
against.
go,
It's a duty.
you go
It's a
to the
duty.
courts.
It's your duty.
You go to the courts and do that. When they're holding a meeting there, they're not gonna let you yell out from up here. If they did that, they'd have 500 people stand for yelling out.
Constitution, this is not.
Anything they do. They
I'll
don't
tell
let
you
you yell
what,
out.
Reading of the
you have the right, I mean, they're acting
A
like.
senator does not have the
You
right
can't
to
disturb
just
that.
jump up and start talking.
I've
Take
seen
it
it
forward.
Did you see PCN last night?
No,
They do that
You
all
should
the
have
time.
seen it. It was anarchy. It was chaos. Honest
They
to
do
goodness.
it all the
because you can't do
time.
it that way.
No, they did do it. They
No,
did
it
it.
doesn't work.
They
They
do
did
it all
it.
the
It was all
time.
on video. PCN. The Republicans just kept interrupting, and the Republicans said, "We're
They do
doing
it all
this,"
the time.
and they kept breaking. Oh, you ought to see that video. I ought to get that one. Honest to
It's the
goodness,
wrong way to go about that.
it is the wrong way.
It may be the
But then
right,
it got-
It's the right
in your
way, the
eyes,
right
but
way.
then it-
See,
they-
all
they-
this
they-
what's
they-
wrong
they-
is
they-
being
they-
quiet.
and then they're gonna walk all over you.
One thing that they do in
You
there
gotta
is they
complain.
do filibuster where they get up and they start talking.
That's
and
what
they
Jefferson
never-
said.
No,
They
It's
never
true.
give
They
up.
were interrupting each other. The
A right
president,
of the
majority
people.
I think the police departments ought to start learning more about the Constitution.
Yeah.
They're only
Because the majority
peacemakers,
leader
they're
is
supposed to
Democrat.
be peacemakers.
That's
That's
the
their
new
job
leader.
to be a
No, no,
peacemaker.
No, I'm
that's-
sorry,
that's
that one
right.
is, it's.
That's
That
their
should
job.
be his job, right.
PA, yeah.
That's true.
PCN, honest to goodness.
We're gonna go next door. Wes is over there at his meeting.
Okay, I gotta
Just
see
to
what you're
let the girls know,
So much
in
yelling.
case if they wanna stop
You
by.
just can't stand up in the gallery and just shout down anything
That's-
you feel like.
that's-
You're not gonna
Oh,
feel it.
yeah,
That's what
that's my
happened.
buddy.
It's on tape.
Okay,
I'm
I
gonna
think
get that
once
from
you
They won't,
start
they
doing
won't let you do that.
think so. This is my
It
first
happened
time.
last
They had to
night.
let
That's
us
not
do
good.
it because they were doing
You know,
it
they should have called the sergeant at arms out.
They did, that's what they did. They called the sergeant at arms and removed him.
Nice.
Everybody left. You know, maybe that's what they, I don't think they were removed. I didn't see that part.
This was in
I didn't
federal.
shake the hand
Oh,
of the people. I should, but we didn't get the right to stay. So that I couldn't do that.
The House of
There's
Representatives.
only one
Yeah.
He was
poor
reading the
guy that was
Constitution to
trying
them.
Yeah.
to
And as he
participate
was going through it,
together
he got to the part where the President of the United States
until
must be
the
an
end.
actual born
Well, your
citizen,
meetings are
which I don't
extremely
believe
long.
he is.
Yeah, this is.
And they,
this
in
is
fact, now all of a
Yeah.
sudden they can't
Now we
find
can
his.
have our meeting.
Right.
Next
Well,
door.
they've got, there
I'm
were
looking
some
forward to
emails
that.
that said that they, yeah, that they all of a
So-
sudden just can't find his birth certificate now. That Hawaii is saying that he was never born there.
Did anybody see PCN last night?
No,
Oh
I
my
didn't.
goodness.
I
It
don't
was-
get a tell that. I'm having
It was that live from Wednesday, and that night they showed it. It was anarchy, man. The House, because the
What were they-
Democrats were the
That's my
minority.
yelling
point, that's why they won't let you do that.
It's not
They let you yell out.
They
That
did
was
it,
the
though.
elected
The fact is,
officials, and
they
they
wasn't
could do
the
anything they
spectators,
want.
it was the official.
Yeah, well, there's a
I
parliamentary
know, 'cause I
procedure,
didn't
and that's
have
not
the
it.
camera.
That's not,
I didn't
that's, that's
I
anarchy.
didn't have the.
That's just anarchy,
Parliamentary
just yell at.
procedure, that sounds like.
Well, that's what happened. That's what happened. I thought, I said, what is this for real? Because I don't know.
Because I speak with
Republicans passed policy, and they were, I
It
don't
doesn't
know,
make any
in the
difference.
committees,
You're
and
fine.
they were bringing up, trying to enforce it during the full session.
Well, they was telling.
And they said, no, you can't do that. I don't know if they can do it or
Well,
not.
in those,
There's a majority.
in small meetings you go to, they use Robert's rules.
They use it all the time.
Right.
It was not, it was a
You'd have
full
chaos.
committee. It was chaos.
Why don't we all just sit in the bar and yell and scream at each other?
You're absolutely right. I'm just saying, this is what happened. I can't explain it. I gotta find out.
There's a proper time to speak and there's a proper time not to speak.
Well, they thought they were being, they thought that the Republicans
That's right, and because.
eliminated their right to
Obama is
speak
president, you could be president
by not
too.
letting them, they could vote, but they wouldn't let them speak
My
on
dear.
it.
Discuss it.
There was no discussion.
I love
Up or
What
down
was that
vote.
about?
We should use it in our
Uh,
advantage, right?
Right, that's all
Well,
I say.
it was,
Be
it was
happy.
the policy, it was, rules and rules, the
Policy
rules
on what?
committee, the rules, whether or not.
Turn that off, huh?
Yeah, right, yeah, that's fine. I'm just gonna grab my camera.
I'm sorry, it was freezing up here and I didn't want everybody to freeze, so I cranked the heat up.
Executive session down at 8:22. And we were in personnel matters and litigation. At this time, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting is finished at 8:23.
Jack, you happened to stay up last night to watch that,
Had a great game.
BYU San Diego State?
He was unbelievable.
I saw it, he's the best player I've seen all year. Yeah, best player I saw all year. I just want him to stay up and watch it.
Give me all the water.
Just don't block the video.
Well, they say he's hardly even played. I bet you it's 50 years since I even thought about it. It's so similar. That's such a similar conversation. Because his, years and years. Yeah, that was
Just take a look at it. You can go online. It's very, very, great group.
It's the right hand. Very emotional. I mean, it's the music.
Check it out online.
It's a really great organization for us. We the people. I'm associated. That's why we're yes, that'd be great. I had the Panthers too. You ready?
See you, Jim.
See you later.
I don't have a choice.